Now, I can do this with your money, folks. It takes about 24 hours, and I meet you back here tomorrow. Any takers on that?
James Munton is a nationally recognized expert on deception. Combining his skills as an entertainer with his expertise in deception, James will have your audiences laughing while they learn.
So as you can tell, I'm not originally from these parts. I grew up in East Texas. Well, kind of east of Texas, to be truthful. I grew up in London, England. Anyone been to England for vacation or something, or work maybe? Oh, a few of you, yes. And my whole life changed when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I went on a school field trip to the British Museum. And while my classmates were inside getting an education and learning about King Tut's sarcophagus and the Rosetta Stone, I was outside the building getting a different education, because what I had noticed on a street corner was a gentleman with an upturned cardboard box upon which he was playing a little game with 3 cards, one of which was the ace of spades, and he was inviting people to have a little wager on which one was which. Well, I saw an American tourist in the audience lose about $200 in 5 minutes, and I thought to myself, I want to learn how to do that. I want everyone in my audience to realize that their identity, their bank accounts, their company's future are at risk. And the only way to do that is to make them realize that they can be fooled. So I fool them. That's when suddenly your emotions take over and suddenly you're not sure where it is. Don't worry, it's still there. I haven't done anything yet. See, the most important thing is what they do is, at some point, they're going to cheat. So even though you're pretty sure it's over here, it's not there, it's not there, it's over here. I'll tell you what, do me a favor, just choose 1, 2, or 3.
3.
Okay, we're going to put that right on top there. I'm going to put this shot glass on top just like this, and you can actually place your thumb right on top. I mean, that is cheat proof now. There's no way I can get that out.
Nothing under it, okay.
How much would you put on that right now? 20 bucks, 100 bucks?
I would take EP Mark's $20 and put it on it.
Take it, that's a wise thing to do. Lift the glass up,
okay.
Lift the shell up. You didn't see that go, did you?
EP Mark. Uh-oh.
He's an easy mark.
Look at EP Mark.
Thanks, that'll do nicely.
In addition to performing at conferences and meetings, he has performed for Hillary Clinton, former Vice President Dick Cheney, and 3 times at the White House.
Throughout my adult life, I've always retained this fascination with cons and scams and researched them, and then just last month my first book on the subject was published, and now I'm going around giving some talks on the subject. So what exactly is a con or a scam? Well, if you look it up in the dictionary, it'll say something like a deceptive or fraudulent act. What it is really is theft with a twist. It's stealing with a storyline, and everyone thinks the same thing. It can't happen to me. Well, the statistics would suggest otherwise. Did you know you are 40 times more likely to be a victim of a con or a scam than to have your car stolen or your house burgled? Yes, 50 million incidences of fraud each year, 10 million of those, between 8 and 10 million, identity theft. And everyone thinks it can't happen to them. Do me a favor, everyone, do this little fun game with me. You can stay sitting where you are. Everyone raise your right hand like this and say, hi. What a friendly bunch you are, look at this. And everyone put your thumb in the air like Fonzie and say, cool. Oh yeah, and this is a bit Texans-like. Make a little gun and go bang. Yeah, see, that's always their favorite bit. Now, make a little circle and say, okay. And follow me, take that little circle and put it right here on your chin. Now, if you think your chin is up here and not down here, you've just been led astray a little bit.
And you always see like the Nigerian scams from overseas saying a long-lost relative has all this money. And you think about it, like nobody falls for it.
Right.
But people do.
Well, I just gave you the numbers. Yeah, 50 million Americans, 10 million identity theft. We all think it can't happen to us. And actually, one of the things I do when I go around and give talks and lectures on the subject is I show people using my magic just how easy it is to be fooled. Because no one thinks it can happen to them until it does. Now, we've each got $5 in our wallets. I mentioned the carrot and the stick. This is very important. And it's very important for you guys to realize that they get you emotionally involved. 3 emotions which are very common. The first one is greed. They appeal to your desire. Win $100. You get an email saying you've won the lottery, $20,000. You start thinking, what will I do with all that money? And just like that, you've been hooked. Another kind of emotion they use is fear. You get a phone call in the middle of the night saying something's happened to a loved one. Immediately you want to help out. And just like that, you've been hooked. And another type of emotion they prey on is your compassion. Every time a tragedy happens on the news, the next day the phones are ringing with people collecting money for charities, and not all of them are real. And just like that, you've been hooked once more. Well, I make that 3 times you got hooked over there, Jane. You've been holding on to this. Okay, you can let go of it now, darling. Don't make me tickle you.
Hang on to it, Jane. We need it.
If you started with 5, Jane, and lost 3, how much do you think you have left? Count it into my hand. 1, 2. Wait, where's the rest of it gone? 2. We've only got $2 left. I think we've found the partner in crime over here. Hang on, she's down 3 right now. You start with 5, and if you've got 3 extra, how many should that be? Count in my hand one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, and the rest of it. $6, $7, $8. I think we have a successful scam. Can I have a round of applause for my helpers? Thank you very much. Go sit down, folks.
James gives you an inside look at the fascinating and dangerous world of cons, where nothing is what it seems.
And this is a story about a woman called Nancy. She's the mother of a soldier stationed in the Gulf. And one night, later in the evening, as she's sitting watching television with her husband, the telephone rings. And when she looked down at the caller ID, it said it was from the Red Cross. She didn't want to answer the phone. Her hand was shaking as she picked up the receiver. And on the other end of the phone was a lady. She said she was calling from the Red Cross. And she said there had been an accident. Her son had been injured in a vehicle rollover. It was not life-threatening, but his injuries were serious enough that he had to be airlifted to Germany. Well, in all the panic and the confusion, the paperwork had been mislaid, his dog tags weren't with him, and in order to expedite his being transferred to Germany, they just needed his social security number and date of birth. And then later in the afternoon the next day, the phone rings again. This time it's Jack, her son. When Jack could get a word in edgewise, he said, "What are you talking about?" And that's when it dawned on Nancy. There'd been no accident, no vehicle rollover. He wasn't in Germany, he was still in the Gulf. And the lady from the Red Cross, it had been a scam.
Why do people fall for scams? How do con artists work? And most importantly, what can we do to protect ourselves?
And the third thing is to be educated on the subject. Since it is such a problem, learn and read about the scams that are out there, and you'll be better off to protect yourself. I would just like to say thank you very much for having me, and I hope you had some fun, but learned a few things as well. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.